subscribe our channel, stay till the end of the stories for more twist and turn. Comment us about what kind of stories you like to hear. I suspected my girlfriend was cheating on me, and then I find out she's catfishing some guy. I, 24 meters, have been going out with my girlfriend, 25F, for 2 years. We moved in together just 3 months ago. I started to suspect after our first 2 months living together. She'd constantly be on her phone, but when I'd walk back into the room she'd subtly put it away, or I can see her thumb pressing the home button on her iPhone and act like she was scrolling on another app. We know each other's passcodes, but I never thought I'd actually use it to snoop until she was in the shower earlier and I just couldn't take it anymore. There was nothing in her texts and she doesn't have a Snapchat, so I couldn't find anything that indicated she was cheating on me. I looked through her phone and then I saw she had the Kik app hidden in one of her folders. And there was only one person she was chatting with on there. What was more shocking though was that photo on her account wasn't even her. It was a pic of some random chick I've never seen before, and she wasn't even using her actual name. When I looked through their messages, I felt like my stomach dropped. There was all these heart emojis, calling each other baby, saying stuff like I love you. I almost threw her phone across the room. It took a little while, but I got to their first few messages. I guess they started messaging on Tumblr before they decided to start chatting here. I read every single message and it hit me that she was lying to this dude basically everything about her. Her name, her age, she said she was 27, what state she lives in, what she does for a living, and she made up this whole story about how she lost her job because of the pandemic and has to live with her parents. Like, the fact that she's even cheating on me with this dude was bad enough, but she literally made up a whole different life, and for what? I blew up at her when she finally got out of the shower, and she tried to justify her actions by saying she didn't technically cheat and she doesn't even have feelings for the guy. She said she was just bored when this guy messaged her and she thought it might be interesting to fake who she is and see where it went. Then I asked why she would even do this just for fun? Why fucking make up a bunch of bullshit on a guy she's never gonna meet and act like she has feelings for him? I couldn't get anything else other than she thought it was pretty interesting and exciting, but she swore she never actually cheated and said she only loved me. I really couldn't believe why she did this and ruined this just because she was bored. I left her crying in our apartment and I went out driving for a few hours. Came to crash in my friend's garage for the night because I'm not about to see her face right now. My phone was already blowing up with messages from her as soon as I turned my phone off. I feel like it's over between us, even if to her it wasn't technically cheating. How the hell can I be with someone who literally lies to entertain herself? Or catfishes someone and acts like she's in love with them? Just don't know what to make of all this. You did right, dude. She's not a very good person to play with someone else's feelings like that for fun and wasting his time. That's fucked up. TBH, what she just did would be enough reason for me to break up with her. She could have chosen other ways to entertain herself, yet she chose to flirt and lie to everyone involved. What a mess. Exactly. For instance, my GF and I are LDR until I finish my last semester of college, so we both can get bored because of this. She doesn't start chatting with other dudes and catfishing to entertain herself, she picks up a damn book or finds a productive hobby. I've had friends that have gotten catfished before, and honestly, screw those people who do that to the point of being in a fake relationship. Heartless. Even if the hobby is not productive, for example gaming, it's still better than fucking catfishing another dude, and the worst thing is the guy might be completely innocent and probably quite nice as well. This is a betrayal on so many levels. First of all, it's okay to feel the way you feel about this. Your feelings are valid. It's okay to have your own deal breakers in a relationship. Her behavior is as good as any a deal breaker for you to decide to walk away. Don't let her tell you that this is not technically cheating. If she needs to resort to a technicality, then it's long past cheating. There's no such thing as technically not cheating. It either is or it isn't. Had she ever considered how she would feel if you've been talking to a girl online and saying all the things that they've said to each other? At this point, you really have two options here. Either get your stuff and move out or give her like 7 to 14 days to move out. There's really no middle road here. Because if you really do mental contortions and make up with her and stay with her, you'll always be wondering what she's been up to when she's looking at her phone, while you are there with her or away from her. You'll always keep wondering if she's meeting up with guys locally or not. One thing for sure is that at this point she's learned her lesson and she's going to be extra diligent and smart about hiding her own tracks here onwards. Feeling jealous, insecure about my 24 female boyfriends, 26 male, co-worker, 20 female, not sure how to bring it up with him? My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3 years. He started a new job last October, and is quite sociable and makes friends easily. He has mentioned a lot of his co-workers to me, but I've never met any of them. One name he would occasionally mention when he first started working there was this girl, let's call her Jane, but after a while he stopped ever mentioning her, so I just assumed they weren't as good of friends anymore or didn't work together or something like that. Didn't put very much thought into it. He did mention her once after we had been drinking when he brought up that she plays the same video game as me, and then another time I checked his phone on a Sunday morning just to see what time it was when we woke up and saw a text from her on the lock screen from 3 a.m. the night before saying she was drunk and asking him advice about the best way to sober up, which appeared to me just an excuse to text him while she was drunk. Found that kind of weird but didn't bother bringing it up at the time, since it seemed like a one-off. Anyways, fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, we got pretty drunk one night. We were talking about random stuff and then he started talking about his job, and then with co-workers, and then he started saying how Jane is his best friend and he gets along really well with her. I don't think he remembers this, but he talked about her for like 5 minutes. I didn't say anything about it at the time, but I found this kind of surprising. He was calling her his best friend since she is literally the only co-worker he never talks about. After this, I admit that I started to get a little nosy. I never snooped on his phone, but I did notice that if he was showing me something on it, she was texting him, or that it showed she was the last person he had it texted. They also work together all week, so I don't exactly know what they would be texting about when they are off work. Now, I guess Jane's parents, who she lives with, hold a poker night every weekend. My BF is really into poker, so I guess she invited him to come. It sounded like it was more her parents and their neighbors that play, not her, which for some reason seemed weirder to me. I feel like I am majorly overreacting, but I've suddenly become really jealous and insecure about my BF's friendship with this girl. Realistically, they probably are just good friends, but the fact he never talks about her makes me feel like he's hiding something. I've never been jealous about any of his other female friends before. Even if they phone, text each other a lot or hang out one-on-one or anything like that, it has never bothered me. I think it's mostly because he is open about it, and I've also met all of them. This one has just been bugging me, something about the fact that this weekend he's going over to her house and meeting her parents. I know I should bring it up so that I'm not festering over it, but I just have no idea how. I'm worried he will interpret it as me being jealous just because she is a girl, and that I'm trying to control his friendships or something like that. I also don't want him thinking I snooped in his phone. And I especially don't want him to think I don't trust him and I am accusing him of cheating on me. Any advice here would be really helpful, thanks. TLDR, boyfriend is close friends with a co-worker, but he seems to hide the magnitude of their friendship and seems to only mention her to me when he is drunk. Now he said he is going over to her plus her parents' house for a card night this weekend. It's making me uncomfortable and I don't know how to talk about this with him. I would talk to him and discuss boundaries. Personally, I would let him know that it makes you uncomfortable that he has a close relationship with this co-worker who texts him at inappropriate hours. I would also bring up poker night because he's apparently close to her yet barely talks about her, claims they're best friends, and you've never been introduced to one another. I'd be very wary of this situation. Why would he be going over to a 20-year-old's house to play poker with her family if they're not dating? It's not that they are close friends that I am uncomfortable, it's more that he doesn't seem to be overly open about it. Which I guess also needs a discussion, just handled a different way. If I was in her shoes, I would feel very weird inviting a guy in a relationship over to hang out with my parents. I don't know, I find it disrespectful that she doesn't have you in mind in regards to it being okay for her to be inviting him over or texting at those hours. In my personal experience, anytime I have become friendly enough with a co-worker to the point that I want to hang out with them outside of work, I know their relationship status well before getting to that point. And if they are in a relationship, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender, I typically invite their significant other along with whatever plans I ask them out to, at least for the first 1 or 2 times, so their significant other can get to know me and vice versa. And I don't do this because I have a boyfriend myself, because I honestly would still do this regardless of my relationship status, but because I just never want anyone to get the wrong idea. Plus I typically want to get to know my friends' ass. Why wouldn't I? But that's just me. I guess a lot of girls don't do that. I get the feeling you probably are a lot like me in that regard, and I can really relate to your situation, and all I can advise that you do is approach your boyfriend calmly about it, using non-violent communication and I statements. Focus on how it makes you feel. Don't accuse. Talk to your boyfriend. Tell him you'd like to meet her, since he's meeting her parents and their best friends. Thanks for listening so far. If story have an update, we will post here. Like, subscribe to our channel for upcoming stories.